In the universe of vast fortunes and well-kept secrets, certain stories emerge with an intriguing force, challenging common perception. This video explores one such narrative, where trust and truth intertwine in a luxurious hospital. The story of a patient who, for an obscure reason, chose to inhabit the shadow of an induced coma will be revealed here. The premise is fascinating. A millionaire patient fakes a coma, but when he overhears the nurse's confession, everything changes. This plot, full of twists and turns, invites us to reflect on human nature, hidden motivations, and unexpected confessions that can emerge in the most vulnerable moments. It's a reminder that, behind closed doors, many realities unfold. We will follow every step of this man, from the peculiar decision to feign unconsciousness to the crucial moment when his lies collide with others' truths. This is not a guide on how to deceive, but an engaging analysis of a psychological mystery, exploring the layers of a plot that holds attention from beginning to end. This narrator is dedicated to unraveling complex plots and sharing stories that capture the imagination and offer profound reflections. The intention is to delve into the specifics of this situation, offering a clear and engaging perspective without resorting to exaggerations or speculative information, maintaining the integrity of the narrative. Prepare to enter a world where fortune does not guarantee happiness, nor does illness ensure honesty. The patient's and nurse's journey is about to begin, and to understand what led him to such an extreme, we must first know the context that shaped his decisions. The millionaire in question, an industry magnate known only as Mr. Thompson, led a life marked by resounding successes and profound personal setbacks. His fortune was legendary, but loneliness and distrust were constant companions, a result of past betrayals that made him extremely cautious. It is believed that his singular decision to simulate a coma did not come out of nowhere. He had already been betrayed by partners and even family members, which cemented in his mind the belief that people's true nature only reveals itself under pressure or in situations of others' vulnerability when their guard is down. For Mr. Thompson, the hospital setting represented the perfect stage for his experiment. A person in a coma is seen as inert, incapable of reacting, becoming the passive recipient of all interactions and confessions. The implementation of the coma charade required a combination of cunning and medical knowledge, carefully devised by Mr. Thompson and a trusted doctor, whose name remains confidential for ethical reasons. The plan involved specific medications to simulate neurological symptoms, and a convincing act that would deceive even the most experienced professionals. Over time, the millionaire perfected the art of his act. He studied the body language of coma patients, controlled his breathing, and even the most subtle reflexes, all to maintain the illusion of a vegetative state. This tactic was risky, but he believed it was worth it to discover the truth behind the smiles. Various variations of his state were tested, from complete immobility to slight involuntary spasms, to make his condition even more credible. He knew that consistency was key, but also the unpredictability of some signs, to ward off any suspicion that he was in control of the situation. However, this was not a flawless or limitless strategy. Mr. Thompson faced the constant risk of being discovered by a more perceptive doctor or a nurse attentive to details. The charade was a mental and physical burden, and at any moment, a minimal error could unmask him, exposing his vulnerability. This scenario of secret observation was what he sought. Over time, people around him relaxed, assuming his lack of consciousness. It was in this environment of apparent security that true personalities and secrets would begin to reveal themselves, and one in particular, the nurse, would become the center of his attention. In the dim light of the hospital room, Mr. Thompson, trapped in his artificial coma, became a listening shadow. His sharpened senses picked up fragments of conversations, whispers, and even the silence filled with unspoken thoughts. The first days were of pure observation, mapping the patterns of the medical team and, in particular, of a specific nurse. She was Clara, a dedicated professional with an impeccable record of care and empathy, or so it seemed. The millionaire observed her as she performed her routine tasks, adjusting IVs, checking vital signs, and even gently talking to him, the unconscious patient. Gradually, a strange routine settled between them, a unilateral interaction. The tension in the room was almost palpable, though only one of them was aware of it. Mr. Thompson felt the pressure to maintain his facade while waiting for a sign, a word, something that would reveal Clara's true face. He sought the chink in the armor, the moment when the mask of professionalism might slip, showing what lay beneath. Time passed slowly, measured by the beeps of the machines and soft footsteps in the corridor. This wait was exhausting, but the millionaire's determination to uncover the truth drove him. He imagined scenarios, pondered human motivations, and questioned whether his chronic distrust would finally be justified or disproven. Then, on a quiet afternoon, when the hospital seemed to slumber, something unexpected happened. Clara, feeling alone and despondent, approached Mr. Thompson's bed, unaware that his closed eyes concealed a perfectly alert mind. What she was about to say would completely change the dynamic of that elaborate charade. Clara, visibly troubled and believing she was alone with the inert patient, began to speak. Her voice was low, choked with repressed emotion, a mixture of anguish and despair. She leaned over the bed, and the words that left her lips were like arrows piercing Mr. Thompson's coma facade, striking him deeply. The nurse confessed not a crime, but a deep pain, an overwhelming financial difficulty that was consuming her. She spoke about her mother's debts, the need for expensive treatment, and the helplessness of not being able to help despite all her effort and dedication. Mr. Thompson listened to every syllable, shocked and, at the same time, intrigued. Her voice revealed an authentic vulnerability, describing how she felt trapped, with no way out, and how the pressure was affecting her personal and professional life. She apologized to the unconscious patient for unburdening herself, expressing her frustration with life's injustice, which seemed to punish the good and reward the cruel. He realized that the confession was not a direct plea for help to him, but a lament to the universe, an outpouring to someone she deemed incapable of judging or betraying her. There was no manipulation in her words, just raw, honest pain. It was an exposure of the soul that dismantled all his cynical expectations. At that instant, Mr. Thompson's reality began to distort. The woman he expected to reveal obscure secrets or selfish intentions was, in fact, revealing a struggle worthy of compassion. This revelation, in its simplicity and brutality, was the true turning point, challenging all his prejudices and plans. Clara's confession resonated in Mr. Thompson's mind like thunder in a clear sky. The nurse's words spoke not of a plan to exploit his fortune, nor of some petty revenge. Instead, she revealed a story of altruism and personal sacrifice, of a silent struggle to protect and care for her family, especially her sick mother. The millionaire,